All right, so this is going to be a breakdown of the championship game, 5A here in Iowa, between the Linmar Lions and the Waukee Northwest Wolves. This is on July 24th, 2025. So I'm going to take you to the top of the sixth inning. 2 outs. We got a runner on second base. That is McKinley Sweet. She just substituted in for Emily Coranda after a double. We've got Annie Cassidy at bat with 2 balls, no strikes. 2 outs. I'm just going to let it play, and we're going to watch the play. 0-0.
Cassidy grounds it right side. Schulte to make the play over to first. Pulled the first baseman off the play at the plate. Now in a rundown is Sweet. Sweet dives back for third, and she's called out.
All right, so there's the play. As you know, tensions are high. People are excited. It's 0-0. We're in the sixth inning, right? Biggest game in the state of Iowa all year long. So what happens there is Cassidy grounds out to Schulte over at second base. The throw to Richards at first base causes her to pull her foot off the bag. So McKinley Sweet, she sees this over at third, and she's like, oh, I'm going home. So she tries to go home. Should she have gone home? Probably should have stayed at third, but she didn't, right? So she went home, first base threw it to home like they should. Good play. Sweet heads back to third base. And then you can see the tag from there. Depending on which team you're cheering for is how you're going to feel, whether she actually makes the tag on her back or not. I've watched it a couple times, full speed, slow motion. It really doesn't look like a tag to me. Definitely needed instant replay in this scenario just to make for sure that we got this call right. There's a pic here of after the tag was attempted. Sweet's basically sitting on, hugging third base, and the tag is not applied. But here's the piece that really kind of supersedes all of it. Watch this. All right, so here's a view of just third base, right? Play's happening over on the right. You can't see it. But watch what's about to happen. Here comes Sweet, rounding third, going home. Oh, wait a second. I need to head back to third. Here she goes. Stop. Let's go ahead and open up our handy-dandy softball rules book from 2025. This is the NFHS. That's the National Federation of State High School Softball Rules book from the year that this game was played. So let's go ahead and crack that open. We're going to go to... So let's open it to page 66. This is Rule 8-4, Section 4. Runners are entitled to advance. Flip down to Article 3. A runner is entitled to advance without liability to be put out when B, a fielder not in possession of the ball, note what we got going on at third base, or not making an initial play on a batted ball, impedes the progress of a runner or a batter runner who is legally running bases. Okay? What are the penalties? Well, when any obstruction occurs, including a rundown, the umpire will signal a delayed dead ball, and the ball will remain live. So then, if the obstructed runner is put out prior to reaching a base that would have been reached had there not been obstruction, the dead ball is called, and, continued on page 67, the obstructed runner and each other runner affected by the obstruction will be awarded the base or bases which would have been reached. So, the argument here, the situation is the third baseman obstructed the base runner's ability to slide back into 3. Notice as soon as McKinley turns her head back from the catcher towards the base, what she sees is the fielder in the baseline. Her right foot is on or a little over the baseline. So now McKinley can't slide, right? So she ends up sliding late, which ends up with her basically like hugging the base. Her back is higher than it normally would have been, and now the tag is really close. It's a close tag. Otherwise, would have just been not close at all. Obviously safe at third. So in this case, the umpire unfortunately did miss an obstruction call and may or may not have got the tag call right. We don't know. This is an ask for IGHSAU to actually implement replays at least in our championship games for each of the classes. All right, so the second example, same game, and this is more about our umpire team really knowing the rule book. They called a solid game with the exception of 2 examples in this video I'm showing you here. This situation comes, again, in the next inning. We're in the 7th, the top of the 7th now, with 1 out. Score is still tied at 0. Mallory Palmer is the runner on first, and we got Lexus Krug up to bat. So let's watch this play, and then we'll talk about it.
Double major. There's a pop-up on the bunt attempt. Richards fields it. Now the ball is away from the first baseman. Runner goes to first.
Nope, the ball was dead. That was an out.
With one strike on her, Lexus bunts. She pops it up to the pitcher, Schlater, who makes the play and catches the ball. Palmer on first recognizes the pop-up, and she tags up. So right here, Lexus's view, she sees the catch is made, and she sees Palmer tagging back up. And she makes a decision to push through Schlater and sort of gives her shoulder here, and that knocks the ball out. So Palmer's already at first at this point. She sees the ball on the ground. She's like, hey, I'm going to second. So she takes off to second, slides in safe. So one of the really cool things about the state championship game from PBS is they actually have the coaches and the umpires mic'd up. So let's listen to what the umpires talk about, what they discuss, and what their decision is, and then we'll break that down.
Okay, I've got a catch. I've got when she turned, that's when the ball came out. I have a tag up at first base. She goes to second base. Do any of you have interference on the runner that caused the ball to come out?
What I would say here, and I'm gonna go with this. I let the play develop out. I saw the girl kind of step into the fielder, and then that's what made the ball go out.
Okay, so what are we gonna do here?
I think we're gonna call that a runner interference there because she knocked the ball out of the glove.
So we're gonna go retired runner interference.
Yes.
So we gotta call the runner on second out.
Yes.
So we're going retired runner interference because she swerved in to cause the interference.
Yes.
And she swerved in after the catch. And that means we have 2 outs and we're done.
Yes.
The runner on second's out because of retired runner. The runner closest to home is going to be out.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. We got an out here.
Okay, so that's the call that was made. You can hear how excited the crowd is about that call that ended up being a double play, 2 outs, making it 3 outs, ending the 7th inning of the championship game, or at least the top of the 7th inning. Pretty crazy. Let's take a look at our softball rules book again. Open this bad boy up in FHS. We're going to go to Rule 8-2 on page 63. This is why Krug is out, right? They got that right. Krug bunted it, and she ran into the pitcher. So Section 2, the batter runner is out. The batter runner, that's what she is. She's a batter who became a runner, right? The batter runner shall be called out when. Page 64, Article 7, the batter runner interferes, A, with a fielder attempting to make an initial play on a fair batted ball. That's what Krug did. Skip the blue section for a minute. The penalty of that is the ball is dead, and the runner or runners must return to the last base touched at the time of the interference. Now, up in the blue section, it says, hey, if this interference in the umpire's judgment is an obvious attempt to prevent a double play, the runner closest to home plate shall be called out. And you heard the umpire say that, right? The runner closest to home. He did imply that because she knocked it out, she couldn't get the runner out at second base. Well, that's true. But if you watch the playback, Palmer did not go to second base until the ball was knocked out of the pitcher's glove, right? So that's why Krug is out. We're going to revisit that in just a second. Let's go now to the rule that he referenced.
The runner on second's out because of retired runner. The runner closest to home is going to be out.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So this rule that he's talking about is on page 69, Rule 8-6. The Section 6, the runner is out. So a runner is out when, on page 71, C, after being declared out or after scoring, a runner interferes with the defensive player's opportunity to make a play on another runner. Just stop right there. When this happened, what opportunity did the pitcher have to make a play on Palmer? Palmer was standing on first base. There was no opportunity to get her out, right? That's why what he did was incorrect. The penalty for that, the ball's dead. The runner closest to home plate at the time of interference shall be declared out, right? But the problem is this doesn't apply because there was no opportunity for the player to make a play on Palmer. She was standing on first base. Now, what should he have done? The rule that would have been appropriate would have been on page 69, Rule 8-5, Section 5. The runner must return to their last base legally occupied when, Article 3, a batter, runner, or runner is called out for interference. Each runner shall return to last base, which, in the umpire's judgment, was touched by the runner at the time of the interference. The penalty, the ball's dead. Runners must return to their base without liability to be put out, except when forced to go to the next base because the batter became a batter runner. And in this case, It's almost saying, hey, Mallory should have went to the second, but that's stretching it. At a minimum, Krug was out. Palmer should have stayed on first or had to go back to first base, not in the top of the 7th inning incorrectly. So do either of these missed or incorrect calls change the course of the game? It's impossible to know, but it is certainly possible. The ask, IGHSAU should begin using instant replay with booth review support like they do in college. PBS has all the technology at the field already. It really won't cost that much more and will result in confirmed fair games for these girls who play their hardest, and for some who it will be their last, their final career softball game of their lives.